What up, world? Wherever you is in this moment, wishing you nothing but love, peace, happiness, with a hint of adversity. Grow with me. Secondly, remember always that where other men blindly follows the truth, remember that nothing ain't true unless you accept it as true in your reality. Next, know that where other men are limited by morality and by laws, remember that everything is permitted within creation. Just keep in mind consequence. The consequence of your every thought, your every word, your every action, you are responsible for. It doesn't matter if you was following someone's orders, someone's command, someone's leadership. It does not matter. At the end of the day, the consequence for you blindly following and obeying somebody's order, if within you knew it was wrong, you will have to deal with the consequence. But that's neither here nor there. Let's just stick with where other men are limited by morality or by laws. Everything is permitted. Just keep in mind the consequence. You have to deal with it. That's it, brothers and sisters. Today's message. It was inspired with a few things which led to this moment. The first one being something that's been going on with my device. It's not this device, but I'm just showing this so that you see. It's a device I'm currently recording on. Something has happened with that device, and once I peeped it, I was inspired to do a message on it just to bring into your awareness some of the insanity of these sheep-like rulers that seeks to capture your attention and influence your subconscious, thereby manipulating your reality. So yeah, the first one is the first clue that I got to spark that idea to do the message was from the device. The second was from a dream that I had. Interestingly enough, ultimately the title of this message is going to be about fear. And fear is something that's a child of mine. So I don't know how you perceive fear, but every emotion is literally like a child to me. Should I say a child? No, let's say an entity. Now, depending on who you are, that entity either has control over you or you have control over it. So when it comes to fear, for me, I have control over my fear. So I guess that's why I could refer to it as a child. But the dream that I'm referring to is this right here. I was asleep, and next thing you know, in the middle of my sleep, I found myself experiencing this pressure, this vibration of absolute fear. I woke from my sleep with my heart pacing, and I'm sitting there like, hold on, bro. The fuck am I afraid of? Ultimately, again, realizing whatever emotion that I'm faced with, I must sit with myself and arrive at a conclusion. And the conclusion is simply determining if the emotion that I'm currently feeling belongs to me, or I'm tapping into someone or something outside of myself. As I've just stated to you, when it comes to dealing with fear, fear is literally something that has no rule or say so in my reality, because every fear I have ever had, I always face it head on. The fuck I look like allowing something to hold a certain level of weight over my life, ultimately preventing me from growing because, oh, I'm afraid of it. The fuck out of here with that. Long story short, the dream that I awoke from after arriving at the conclusion, okay, this ain't yours, I concluded that ultimately the fearful state that I awakened in was the collective, tapping into the collective awareness, because currently you have a bunch of fear that is, well, in every generation, every timeline, there's a bunch of fear that is being sown or projected into society, into the collective. So me being a sensitive being, being able to be able to tap into not just others around me emotion, but tap into the collective emotion. I'm observing this fear and I'm sitting there questioning myself. Now, it didn't come right away, but I'm questioning, okay, what is the root of this fear? What is the society afraid of? What are the people within my environment afraid of? These are the questions that I'm asking. And looking at the whole expansion of the consciousness, the human consciousness, looking at what is taking place within our society, wherein you got the two timeline where you have a certain group of people that exist in a unity state of awareness, and then you got the others that still exist in that separation awareness. And both of them, even though they're separated, but yet they still exist on the same planet. I awaited that answer. That is, what are they afraid of? When you see the news, you see all the natural, how should I say, you see nature responding to the higher vibrational energy that she is receiving. Now others looking at this whole her responding to the high vibrational energy that she is receiving as chaos. I mean, you have mudslides within the reality, you have earthquakes, you have all these natural disasters that are taking place. Yes, there are some humans worldwide that are being affected by these natural disasters, and naturally that's part of the consequence. I don't wish no harm upon anybody, but if you're experiencing some of these natural disasters that are taking place, then unfortunately there is something that you need to learn. There's karma that is being enacted. Unfortunately, that's just how you chose to face your karma, but let's leave that alone for now. But again, as the collective is beholding everything that is taking place, and even with the politician and politicking and the rulers and all of that, all the fear that is being, again, channeled within the collective, and society as a whole sitting by and bearing witness to this, I concluded that is what led to my whole dream. Because again, as I've said, fear is not something that I entertain. This is my child, whereas it has gotten to the point where it understands I can't fuck with dad. I can't fuck with father, because father don't have time to allow himself to be influenced by me. The fuck is there to be afraid of when father is all there is? So Again, I can't fuck with Father on that level. So I always know my place. I'm always by Father's side and just bearing witness to Father's greatness. Entertainment with that for now. But back on point, another part of the fearful tactics that is being projected into the collective is this whole war world 3. I don't know if you're hearing this now. This is not to even focus on that. But again, I got to just bring it up because this is what I, as an observer, is observing taking place within the reality. The agenda that is being introduced on the world stage is this whole World War III. Now, little do we know this has long been taking place because ultimately World War III is not physical. It's not physical. It's not niggas going around shooting people like they did in World War I or World War II. World War III is something that is taking place on a psychological level. For those who are in the known, they know World War III is the conquering of your mind. World War III is rooted in technological devices that are being used to conquer your mind. But those who are completely oblivious to the actual existence of this world, they think that this whole war between is it Ukraine and whoever else? I'm not sure. I don't really follow this shit fully. I really don't give a fuck about it because I don't focus my energy, my attention, my creative powers on feeding what the script is that is being handed to me. So my attention don't go on that fully. I'm only bringing this into your awareness to help those who are slowly but surely weaning themselves off of their mother's toxic breast milk. I'm bringing this into your awareness so that you may understand and develop a level of strength so that you may stand on a solid foundation while the whole world around you fall apart. Say why? Well, imagine for a second you a newborn baby when it comes to this whole conscious expression of self, right? You're on this path. And then out of nowhere, all these fearful things are happening around you. For the average person, that's enough to kind of tilt you. That's enough to get you off of that path of conscious expression if you're being bombarded by all those fearful tactics. You might get off of that path of conscious self-expression because now you are afraid. If I stay on this path of consciously expressing myself, choosing to stand in my truth, choosing to connect with source, even though the whole world is falling apart around me, can I really do that? That is the question. Everything is falling apart around you. People dying here and there. Life ain't going right. How many people are able to stay on their path to the path back to self? How many people are able to do that? Can you truly say you're able to? If you answer yes, then you like me, nigga. You built for the shit. And you don't really need this message. Again, it might just be entertainment for you. Perhaps you just like looking at a nigga and listening to a nigga talk. But it's entertainment. But this message is for those that are getting out of that, doing the same shit every day, getting out of the program that they have been forced to accept. These messages are for those who are stepping out of the matrix. These messages are for those who are remembering self, those who are remembering their knowledge, their ancestors, their connectivity to source. This is just to cheer you on, support you in that decision you have made, unconsciously or consciously. This is to remind you that's of this right here. Again, all the fearful things that are taking place within the reality, all the shit that you see on the news. I don't know why you're still watching the news anyway, but apparently you are. All these things you're seeing on the news, they are handing them to you. It's a script for the sole purpose of bringing you back to that fearful vibration. Once you're vibrating in fear, we can control you. We can trap you. We can prevent you from expressing yourself from 5D. We can prevent you from experiencing the 5D reality while you're vibrating in this state of fear, while you're focusing on what we're handing you. Every time you turn on our news, our television programming, that is the news, we're showing you all the death that took place. Now you're afraid. We're showing you all the natural disasters that are taking place worldwide. The ones that we have decided is fair that we show you, because some of the shit that happens around the world, you're completely unaware of that. They still water down what they show you ultimately. Because if we give you everything, yeah, that's not good. These programmers, they feel as though they're your parents. They decide what information is safe for you to handle. So some of the dire things that are happening, they may keep that away from you. Because again, they want to keep you in your little safety box, your box where they can control you with the limited information that you receive. Primarily, I somewhat did this message already, but I left out something, which is why I decided to redo the message. And what I left out was simply this right here. In this moment, while all these drastic changes are taking place within our society, while this corrupt system is being torn down, or it has been torn down, we're still just dealing with the residue. While we're still dealing with these power-hungry parasites that still thinks that it is their right to have a rule over human being, while this is happening, and you, divine brother, that is doing your part, slowly but surely taking your power away from these programmers, taking your power away from these systems, taking your power away from these hierarchy, is that the word? Let's just say you just calling back your spirit and returning back to self. You doing this, you're doing your part with each one of y'all that take it upon yourself to say no more. And by saying no more, the system crumbles a little bit more with each person that just wakes up and say, this is not right. Life was never intended to be lived in this manner. Life was never created in order that you may come into it and experience yourself as such a less powerless expression of self. That was not the purpose of life. The more of us that awaken, the more the system crumbles. But now, being that the system loves what it has created, because the spirit that exists behind that whole creation of the system does not like the idea of now being dropped off, because when you take your attention away from it, the shit no longer exists. And now, because it does not want to get to that point where it no longer exists, the system is going to do everything it can to get you back in that low vibration. So as I was stating earlier, you're actively working to now transition from fear to love. But as you're on this path, you keep being bombarded by all these fearful information. As I've stated, if you're not strong enough, you're going to fall back in that vibration. And this is the purpose of this message, to reveal to you what the system agenda is. Because since I started my journey, I have noticed there's a whole lot more people that are waking up. This whole conscious trend, it has become a trend because now everybody is woke. Everybody is becoming aware of self at different levels, of course. Everybody is now starting to question all the information that at some point on their journey they never cared to question. Religion specifically, a lot of people now, when you come across them, it's like that whole, bro, we know that's some bullshit now. Back then, niggas was scared to even dare to have thoughts like that, because if you had thought like that, you was perceived as being the devil, or you was destined for hell. For how can a child of God want to question God's word? How can a child of God want to question God's authority? But times is changing, because now that ain't the case. I come across people more frequently in my reality where now we don't even engage in religious doctrine. If we even go down that level, is us laughing at the idea that, bro, how the fuck did we allow ourselves to believe that dumbass shit? We were really lost. We were really some fools. We really got mind raped to believe in that fuck shit. But at some point it did serve us, because it did lay down the foundation of us understanding that indeed there was a source. But now we have transcended that childlike thinking, and we have grown up and became adults where we don't need that shit no more. But the more I come across people like that, it just confirms that reality is shifting. Reality has long been shifting, because there were those who came before us. Our brother, the one that they tailored the whole biblical doctrine after. I mean, they call him Jesus or whatever. I don't really know his actual name. Some say Yahweh. These are all his story. I don't have facts. I didn't go all the way. I didn't do all the research that I generally do to try to get at a foundation. I don't want to invest that much time on that. All I know is there was a point in time, one of our brothers tapped into Christ consciousness, and by being in that conscious awareness, naturally, they felt as though I got to share this with everybody. And it is from his teaching, his writing, his or her teaching, his or her writings, that they created all these various religions. A brother of ours remembered his divinity and came forth, just like all of us that are doing this shit now. Anybody who has tapped into Christ consciousness knows that I and my Father, we are one. When you see me, you see my Father. Anybody who has tapped into Christ consciousness knows that Father, child, mother, child. Anybody who has tapped into Christ consciousness also is aware that big God, little God. The universe, big God, little God, expressing big God little God experiencing big God in big God, while big God is expressing big God in little God. I hope that made sense. Little God is experiencing big God in big God, while big God is experiencing all of itself, or big God, in little God. That's gonna fuck with some minds, but take what you can from this, bro. But yeah, the whole Christ consciousness thing, when you reach at that level, you just understand there is no separation. It is unity. It is peace. That's why I said there is no fear when you function from this level of awareness. Those that are on their path to this level of expression of self, the matrix wants to keep you from doing just that. Again, if you take away your attention, if you take away your power, if you take away your spirit from this entity, it becomes powerless, it becomes nothing, it becomes non-existent. So to prevent that, I'm going to fill your news feed with fear. I'm going to fill your timeline with fear. I'm going to put on your news channel all the fearful shit. I'm going to talk about irrelevant things just to keep you distracted. Just to prevent you from arriving at Christ consciousness. Because when you arrive at Christ consciousness, you know there is nothing to fear. There is no one to fear. There is no such thing as fear. If you're not strong enough, once you make up your mind to walk this path, with everything that the system is distracting you with, if your attention is always going there, if your spirit is always channeling into that, ultimately you get to a point where you can become easily manipulated back into a fearful vibration. As I've stated, this is the reason for this message, to not allow that to happen. Brothers and sisters, those of you that are on this path, the journey back to self, I need you to keep this in mind, and I need you to hold to it tightly. Even though everything is falling apart around you, even though the world is in utter chaos and destruction, even though people dropping like flies, you must not shake on your journey. You must remain focused. You must keep your eyes on the prize, because all of that is but distraction. All of the noise that is taking place around you in this moment is all but distractions. And that is what the system wants, to distract you. It wants, like as I've stated, I mean, the messages sound repetitive, but you must understand that is the point of this whole dialogue between you and I. The matrix does not want you to get to that point where fear is something where you don't entertain. It wants to keep you in that fearful, repetitive cycle. And what better way to accomplish that goal than to keep feeding you a bunch of fear shit on your devices? Coming back to the devices, brothers and sisters, I'm going to now start on this. A little while ago, my phone started doing something new. Generally, I don't update my phone. Not for any particular reason. I mean, if my phone is working, if I'm able to text, if I'm able to receive calls, if I'm able to go on YouTube and watch videos, if I'm able to do my research that I do, if I'm able to listen to audiobooks on YouTube, and if I'm able to upload these videos on Facebook, the fuck I need to update my phone for? So generally, I don't update my phone. I don't care for that, but the phone has a habit of updating itself. Now, before it started doing that, I mean, when it used to do that, I never paid it no mind. But then as time progressed, I started to ask, okay, why does this phone need to update? It's not even that. I started to notice things that the phone would do after it updated itself, because I'm paying attention to the details now. And from what I've noticed, every time from what this phone does, every time it updates itself, again, not generally this, because this is not the one I use, this is just one of my previous phone, but this one that I'm recording on, from what I observe is this phone learns you. The phone learns how you're interacting with it, and it 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 either it makes for me it makes my life a little bit challenging every time it updates itself, because again, I never asked you to update. Two, when you update yourself, you create an obstacle for me, because you know I'm aware that you're alive. There's a certain consciousness in this phone. There really is. Everything within reality, personally, it has consciousness to it. There's a spirit within this phone that functions on itself. That's why I said the phone learns you. It studies you, how you use it. So what I'm referring to is simply this right here. The newest update this phone did, it did something interesting. See, when you wake up in the morning, once I go through my morning routines and stuff, yes, I get to that point where, okay, I pick up my phone and I always flip it open to start my day. To either listen to something positive to get my day even more solidified in that positive vibration. The phone notices that I do these things. But now once it has learned me, and then we're still on this topic of promoting the fear and all of that shit, trying to get your attention on the fear that is being projected into reality. This phone took it upon itself to, as soon as I open my phone, it decided that the first thing I should see is my daily broadcast, which is the news. Something I never asked for. Something that I never do. As I said, the phone learns you. The phone knows how I use it. I don't waste any time watching a bunch of news reels. Anything that has to do with news, I don't care for it. If I'm using my phone, it's always on watching or receiving some information that is beneficial to me, that is beneficial to my growth. And so because of all the fear that is being channeled into reality, this piece of shit decided, well, since you don't watch the news channel, let me give it to you first thing when you wake up in the morning. We'll call it your daily briefing. Did I ask for that shit? No, it never did that before, ever. All the phones I have had since phones started coming out, since we started getting devices like this, moving from the flip phone, I've never had that situation. If I wanted the news, I will swipe over to the news page, but this phone decided, no, as soon as you wake up and you decide you want to get off the phone, the first thing we're going to show you is what is happening in the world. And again at night, before you go to sleep, when you go on your phone, we're going to override it, and we're going to again show you against your will what you never asked us for. Midday, we're going to again show it to you. I never asked for that. And this is me saying it learns this device, it gets on my nerves. Well, it doesn't get on my nerve. It works against me, because again, I'm aware of the bullshit that it is, and I'm aware of what is happening. So naturally, it's working against me. There are some other things that are happening with my devices where I'm literally like, bro, somebody is watching me, and ultimately I know someone is watching me through this shit. There's been stuff that has happened. I'm like, bro, you cannot deny that this thing has a mind of its own. But we're going to stick with the whole me waking up, doing my morning routine, opening my phone to start my day, maybe check a missed call or see just what is going on. And then boom, before I can do anything on the phone, I have my news briefing. Why is that? Brothers and sisters, When you first wake up in the morning, from the research I've done, I've come to realize the morning state, when you first wake up, and the evening state right before you go to sleep, our minds this state of vibration called theta. And if I could summarize theta, this brainwave, I said the brainwave, the theta brainwave is wherein one is easily susceptible to information. Information can bypass the conscious awareness and go directly into the subconscious and be acted upon when you first wake up in the morning. Theta brainwave is active. Right before you go to sleep, theta brainwave is active. And then midday, theta is not active. You're in alpha, but still, if the programmer goal is to still have your attention and awareness on negativity, let's remind them 3 times a day. And from what I've come to discover, for those who are on this path of trying to gain control of their minds, the best time to program your mind or, set your days are when you first wake up, midday, and before you go to sleep. You set your intention in the morning. Midday, you continue in that intention by reminding yourself, and then before you go to sleep, you just continue in that vibration, in that intention, and you fall asleep with it, thereby programming the subconscious to focus on that intention throughout the entire day and while you're asleep. These motherfuckers know how the mind works, and they know it quite well. So if dealing with an individual such as myself, where now I pride myself in the protection of my mind, every information that crosses my awareness, I must ensure that it sits well with my spirit before I can allow it into my subconscious. This motherfucker decide, well, since you won't take it upon yourself to go look at the news on your own, how about we give it to you every time you open your page? Every time you open your phone to do just about anything, you can open your phone to make a phone call. You're going to see what we want you to see before you go to your actual screen. You open your phone to want to go in your photo galleries. Before you get to your photo galleries, you're going to see what we want you to see. Because we want your vibration low. And the interesting thing about these motherfuckers is this. Even though they send it to you, they're hoping that you're stupid enough that you see that on your page and now you want to go see, oh, let me see what more of this. The shit that pisses me off about these so-called geniuses that think that they're so smart that they can manipulate a person's mind without their consent, it's just that. These motherfuckers really think that we will send you something and automatically you will be foolish enough to just keep looking at it. To me, that's insulting. Like, I have absolutely no self-control over myself that I'm not going to get out of it. But what's even fucked up about this is, it's not about you having self-control and being able to get out of it. By you being in that theta state, when you wake up and before you go to sleep, just by glancing at the first page that you see, the first thing you see, it has already went to your subconscious because it bypassed the conscious. Even if you quickly just swipe out of it, if you just glance at it for a moment, it still went through your subconscious because you glance at it, and that's what they want. Yes, the conscious can just ignore it. The subconscious does not miss any fucking thing. The subconscious is aware of everything that is happening around you at once. So their agenda, we're going to try to get it to your subconscious as quickly as possible, even if you have self-control to just skip out of that shit. That's the part that pisses me off. Because you can actively be working to protect your subconscious mind from information that you don't want. But again, these motherfuckers, this system, we want you to vibrate low. So we're going to use every tactics in the book. But now, thanks to these devices, we will share with our brothers and sisters what is taking place. Be mindful of what you look at when you open up your phone. Question it, okay, why am I looking at this? Why is this on my news feed? Even if they put it there again, you have self-control to just ignore the shit. Because sometimes they put it there hoping that you will look at it more, thereby letting the algorithm know to send you more of that information. You would not believe that even on Facebook, these motherfuckers had the nerve to put porno on my news feed. Not once have I can't even remember the last time, truthfully, that I have taken it upon myself to go look at porno. Now that I'm aware of just what is taking place, even by just looking at that act, I'm actively allowing my spirit to engage with it. I don't do dumb shit like that no more. When I was a child, I dibble and I dabble in that shit because I knew no better. Every child go through that experience of secretly watching porno. Some of us, that's how we learn to fuck. We watching these niggas get it in and we learning their strokes and everything. And next thing you know, now we're doing that same shit to our girls. But you grow out of that shit when you expand your awareness. You now learn the consequences that comes with your sexual energy being involved in an act such as that. You now understand the value of love making. So shit like that, you don't have time for it. Nothing against the people that do these things. You do whatever. Whether men are limited by morality or by laws, everything is permitted. The Godfather don't give a fuck what you do. Do whatever. But I only bring that up to let you know just how far these motherfuckers will go to bring you back to a low vibration, to trap your spirit, to trap your attention in some shit that you ain't got no business in. Why are you putting porno on my Facebook page? I didn't even know you are allowed to have porno on the page, but apparently they do. So me, I just ignore it. Eventually, they'll get the message. Stop sending these dumbass shit to me because I'm not interested in it. Send me some conscious shit. And even with the conscious shit, you still got to question it. The whole ultimate point of this is be careful with these things. And now that you're on this path, this journey back to self, do not allow what you're hearing in the collective amongst your brethren to deter you from staying the course. Do not. Because that is the goal. Everything falling apart, my nigga. Niggas dropping dead all around me. And you expect me to stay the course? Yes. Because even all that, that's still the test. On some real shit. That's still part of your whole test. Can you stay the course with everything falling apart around you? For a lot of people, they're going to say no. But this shit is for the real ones. Take what I'm learning from these things and use it accordingly. I hope you're using it to grow, to develop and protect yourself. It's a new era, the era of information, the era of truth. Be careful with these truths that you're accepting to be truth. Nothing ain't true until it becomes true for you. Absolutely nothing ain't true. Do you have any idea how many motherfuckers have to die for religion to even be created? Do your research on that. And if you're courageous enough, Put that at the bottom of this video and enlighten your brothers and your sisters. Billions of people have died just for religion to be what it is right now. Somebody else's truth, you accept it to be true, and now you live by it. You create it in your reality. Imagine God coming into reality and accepting another God and then shrinking itself. Ridiculous, is it not? All the fear that is being sown in this reality, it has nothing to do with you. If you're as sensitive as me, yes, you're going to feel it in some way, shape, or form. Me, most time I just go to sleep and I just see these things that are happening. And I just people, okay, so that's what's going to happen. This is what's taking place. That's what that person is doing. That's what they intend for me. All of this shit, you just watch. And then when you wake up, you figure out what to do with that information you've received. But this whole shit is even more amplified around the moon cycle, especially when she's visible in her crescent state and in her full moon state. Ultimately, that's when these motherfuckers really get to doing their whole fearful shit, because they want to wove these web of lies over the collective. And now again, we seers, we just tap into and we are aware, okay, that's what's happening. Now, since we're leaving this, we could just create messages like this for our brothers and sisters coming behind us to just let them know, ignore that dumbass shit. Nigga, you are an expression of source in this bitch. The fuck you got to be afraid of? Everything that is happening because it has to happen in that exact manner. The people that are dying, whatever that whoever that is being hurt, whoever that is losing, whatever, even you, there came a time where you lost some shit. Everything that is happening exactly as it needs to happen, in order that consciousness may go to its next state, in order that Mother Gaia may ascend. Not everybody is going to come to the new world. There's a bunch of motherfuckers that's going to be left behind because they like the false reality. They like the reality of having power over others. They like the reality of lies and deception. They like the reality of manipulation. That's the shit they like. That's the shit that they have allowed themselves to accept and believe as true, and it has become their truth. People like that are not going to want to come to the new reality wherein everybody has power over self. Everybody is a creator. Everybody is a reflection of source. Everybody, literally, there is no one that has any power over you. Only you got power over you. You're responsible for your every thought, word, and your actions. You just got to deal with the consequence. That's the new world. The old world, no. If they come into this new world where they literally were perceived as kings and rulers and gods, if you will, in the new world, nobody ain't going to perceive them as that. The shit that feared their ego. You're not getting that from somebody functioning from 5D. In their present, bro, you're just a reflection of me. An ugly reflection for that matter, but you're a reflection of me. The fuck I'm gonna perceive you any other way than just that? A reflection. Knowing that this is the response that they're gonna get from anybody functioning from 5D, they don't want to come there. So naturally, they're gonna die with the old world. Hopefully, they'll get reset, but ultimately, no, they're just going to another planet, the planet that is still vibrating that dense matter reality. You've had enough of this. You don't want to deal with the low vibration no more, but the low vibration still wants to keep you there. The purpose of this message, don't allow it. Shake that motherfucker off of you. Get the fuck off of me. That's the way you need to move. You're not allowed around me. If you're forcefully trying to invade my subconscious and still think you can influence my world, take every steps to prevent the shit that I'm dealing with, take every step to prevent it. As I've said, I know how to prevent that shit. Even though when I open the page, that's the first thing I see. I have my own defense mechanism to still not look at it, even though that's what they want. Ultimately, it's going to get to the point where this piece of shit will be left in a drawer, and I would never have to deal with it. But until that time, I still have to deal with it, so I will put up with it doing its own thing. My advice, brothers and sisters, y'all be careful in this bitch. Your mind is the battlefield. You're the general in this battle arena. For a long time, another have been the general of your own mind. They have controlled the information that you have been using to create your world, your reality. But as you slowly but surely get back that control of your life through watching videos like this, you have got to become vigilant in the protection of your mind. I don't know what kind of general you is, but fucking with me when it comes to how I govern my mind, bro, this is literally like, this is like Area 51, my mind. And what I'm referring to as Area 51 is, this shit is so protected. Nothing comes close to it unless it is granted access. And to gain access, you must go through channels to get approved to enter into Area 51. And once you're in here, bitch, you ain't leaving. Because once you enter into my mind, I gotta create it. Which is why just nothing can't get in it. And this is how you gotta be. So protective over your mind, understanding that every information that crosses your awareness, your attention, it has within it the ability to influence you. Every word that a person speaks, it has within it the ability to influence you. Every newspaper that you read, it has within it the ability to influence you. Every picture that you see, it has within it the ability to influence you. Every podcast you watch has within it the ability to influence you. Everything around you, even just a poster that you see hanging on a billboard, it has within it the ability to influence you. Thus, you must be that general that is always on watch, always there to protect the most important thing in you, your internal kingdom. You must put guards on duty to watch over the kingdom. We'll go into depth one day. As I said, I don't play when it comes to my mind. My mind is the greatest gift that the good Lord bestowed upon me. My body, gift. This vessel is a gift in and of itself. And if I am not actively doing all that I can to protect it, I'm not honoring my purpose for existence. At least this is how I think. I'm not honoring my purpose for existing by not taking care of the only thing that I can say I came into creation with. And even in coming into creation with it, I'm not going to take it with me. But while this is my home, while this is how I'm able to experience life, I got to do everything that I can to protect this machine, this powerful machine that a lot of people just take for granted. Take for granted to the degree that they're considering this whole agenda where these motherfuckers wants to replace the human body with some machines. I forget the term that they're coming up with it. Go down on the news feed. You will see a reel that I shared on there where the lady was talking about that. These motherfuckers, they literally want to replace the naturalness of the human vessel and start adding machines to it. The body is already a beautiful machine, able to do things that the machine itself is incapable of doing. But yet they are convincing society slowly that the body is weak, the body is insignificant, the body is not powerful, which is all a lie. This body, we have yet to tap into the greatness that it is. I'm gonna ask you this question, then I'm gonna end this video. Can you honestly think the creator that created just the sun, who created this vessel, created, like, didn't create this vessel to last the test of time? This motherfucker created the sun. You know how the sun functions. We're not gonna go into that. That motherfucker that created the sun made this body perfect. And you think this body to be less than? Because you, in the reality, you have misused it and you have not properly taken care of it, and now is functioning in a way that is not serving you. Now you think nothing of it. You purchase a car. If you don't treat the car right, is it not going to fall apart on you? Is it not going to have a bunch of problems? That's the same thing with your body. If you don't take care of your body, it's going to have problems. This is a beautiful machine, perfect. If you don't take care of it, it won't take care of you. If you don't get to know it, you will never know the potential within it. Think about that, man. Protect this gift, the gift that is your mind, the gift that is your body, the gift that is your spirit. You must govern those three aspects of yourself in such a way it's like nothing outside of nothing outside of you, nothing within the reality can influence that without your consent. Have fun with that. We out here. Deuce, deuce. Have a blessed day.